Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday with Sarah. I'm Sarah Simon. I'm a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Appleton, Wisconsin. There we go. I just popped up on my iPad now. I was like, I hope I'm really live, but it's saying I was live for a minute. And I'm like, okay, I'm not on my iPad though. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. For those of you who are in my stamp club, I apologize. I am doing one of the cards that we did in Stamp Club. I changed it up a little bit with some different DSP and some different colors, but I liked the card and it was one of my originals. And so I decided, and I love the layout. And in fact, I have my team meeting today and they're making some make and takes. And I use that layout for one of the cards too. And I love that card too. I may have to make that one next week, or I might just show you. But anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Julie and Amanda and Kelly and Denise and Barbara and Karen. Let's see. Let me get over here. What else do I have? Nancy, Mary, I'm going to be seeing you in a little bit. Becky and Mary and Betty and Shanna and Beth, Gwitty and Holly in Wyoming. It's so nice to have all of you. And Debbie, good morning. Welcome. I'm going to tell you, I'm really tired. I pulled a college all-nighter last night, and so I'm a little bit out of it this morning. I'll be really out of it by about 1:30 this afternoon when I finally get to probably maybe take a little nap before I have to go to church. But I'm so glad that you're with me today. We are going to use two stamp sets that are carrying over. And then we are also going to be using a new bundle with some new paper and some new stamps and dies today. So I'm really, really excited. But before we do that, let's go ahead and thank you for all of you who shared. Let's go ahead and give away some prizes. So, my little Post-it note is falling here. All right. Last week, we made this card. We featured the new in colors. So we've got some Summer Splash, and we have some Petunia Pop, and we have some Pretty in Pink on this card. And this was kind of a unique fold, and it highlighted the, what's it called? Unbound Beauty stamp set and paper. And then we made this fun fold with the peach pie, which is so fun. And I asked you which one you thought I should do for my swaps. And most of you said you like the peach pie better. Yes, it is, Becky. It is a really different catalog. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But I think that once you get used to it, I think you'll like it. I like it because it seems like some of the bundles that are returning from last year, they're together rather than the dies at the end and the stamp set somewhere else. You kind of see everything together. So, but yeah, and if you haven't received a catalog from me and you would like one, please email me or send me a private message and I will make sure that you get one as well. So most of you like the peach pie. Well, I didn't have enough to make my 21 cards because we can only get so much paper. And I didn't have enough because this is a 6x6 pack. I didn't have enough of that striped stuff. So I checked with the lady and she goes, well, you can do it in another color and do half and half. So this was my other one. And I did post these on my Facebook page. So it's the exact same layout, but it's done with Petunia Pop and the Summer Shade, and there's a little bit of Pretty in Pink in that. So I'll set that aside. So receiving these for commenting last time. So anytime you place a comment, I see your names. You get put into a drawing. I pick a number. You all get a number, and I pick a number. And number 25 won this week, and that is Nancy Clark. And Nancy, I do not have an address for you. You're a first-time winner. Yay! So if you could private message me or send me an email at createwithsarahllc@gmail.com, I will get these cards off in the mail to you, cards and envelopes. And then when you share, so many of you wrote that you shared because you shared it with somebody either on Facebook or you emailed the link to them or whatever you did to share. I appreciate that. That spreads the word. And receiving a pack of these soon to be going away. And I'm so sad about that. Look at those things sparkle. Can you see the sun just hit those? And there's not really that much sun out. It looks like it's going to rain. But these are the iridescent rhinestones. They come in 3 different sizes. And for sharing, it said KVE. I'm thinking that's Kaven Eprin. If it's not, somebody let me know. If KVE is you and you're not Kaven Eprin, let me know. But otherwise, I'll be sending these up in the mail to Kaven Eprin. Thank you, all of you who shared. And then for placing an order. So anytime you place an order, and if your order is under $150, I would appreciate it if you use this host code. The host code is up in the upper right-hand corner. You can enter the host code. That gives please take the rewards that you would earn yourself. It's sunny by you, Mary? No, it's really dark and cloudy here. It's really black, and it was sunny like about 10 minutes ago. um, so, placing an order last week and winning the go-to greetings, which is retiring, and this there's all different sizes and different fonts. I love this stamp set. And a pack of the craft note cards and envelope that come with that box where you can put the cards in. We made a box not too long ago. Let's see, there are 20 cards in here and envelopes, and then it's a box that you can put it in. So receiving this for placing an order was number 6, who is Mary Ellen Julian. So Mary Ellen, I will get this off to you. I also have your adhesive that you ordered from me when I did an adhesive sale, and that is arriving tomorrow. So I'll wait till that arrives and I'll drop them all off at once. So, all right, I think I'm going to take my host code off of here. I think that is all that I have for announcements. I'm going to show you this. I said I was going to post it last week. I completely forgot. I said I was going to post something else too. And I don't think I posted that either. If you remember what it was and it was something you needed, let me know. But this is our color coach. So this is a PDF that I will post. And I have cut all of it. Comes in, it's 9 sheets. And it has like little dotted lines that you can follow to cut it out. And then what I do is I cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece of that paper and attach this to there. And then I put them all in a ring. And what this does is it gives you suggestions for colors that go together. So this is telling me that cherry cobbler and pretty peacock and crumb cake would be good. So here's my cherry cobbler, so I can pull it out. I can look for my crumb cake, which is right here. Pretty peacock, I think, was the other one. And that is right here. So I can pull those colors out and I can look at them and decide if I like that combination together. So I use my color coach all the time. When I can't decide on some colors to put with something, I always look at my color coach to decide what it is that I should do. In fact, one of the cards that I ended up making for my team meeting today, I wanted to use the Petunia Pop. And so I went and I looked at it, and for Petunia Pop, it told me that Bubble Bath and Misty Moonlight would look really nice with it. Well, there's some really cool paper in one of the designer papers that has Misty Moonlight. So I use that with my Petunia Pop and my bubble gum. And let me tell you, I love the card. So these color combinations, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I've loved them. like this card that I just ended up making last night. But sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's all right. But I will post this so that you can print it if you want. And it's a wonderful tool. I'm going to a demo card swap. Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun, Lori. I'm having a team meeting. I have 6 of my 10 people on my team coming over today, so that should be fun. All right, I am going to flip here. Do that and make that the main one, and I'm going to turn my overhead light off because that eliminates all of those shadows. Becky, can you purchase that color coach? I made some for my team members. I'm going to tell you they take a really, really long time to make. If I were making a couple of them, I wouldn't mind it. But if I get a whole bunch of people, I can't say yes to some people and no to other people. So I'll have to think about that. If I had to answer right now, it would be no, because I'm going on no sleep. But we'll see. Well, I'll be in touch with you. Anyone else have comments? All right. I'm still a little bit crooked, but we're going to go with it. All right. We are going to use, and I didn't pull the stamps out. Let me pull those out so you can see them. This one and this one. So Bird's Eye View is in the new catalog. Is this not the cutest? It doesn't have any greetings. And I loved the books. I loved the glasses. So I decided to pair it with cap and gown. I decided I was going to make a graduation card. And I think that sometimes the graduation cards that I make are so stuffy and they're so like traditional. This is going to be a little bit not as traditional. This set is carrying over as an online exclusive. So it's not in the new catalog. However, you can, you will still be able to order it online while supplies last or as long as they continue to make it. So these are the combinations we're using today. So let me see here. I'm going to get my dimensions here. I have them. I remembered to type those today. So we are going to start with Night of Navy. And this is your normal 5.5 by 8.5 it should be. And it's scored at 4.25. Okay, so that should be 8.5. Let me hide that and fix it. Let's see if I can fix it real quick. And there we go. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Now I was second guessing myself. All right, we're going to get some DSP. And I decided it would be fun to use the stars here since they're kind of the star on their graduation. And this is 4 by 5.25. And there is some Night of Navy in there. And then we're going to pull out a couple of other colors that are in there as well. This layout has a color that's in your DSP, but that is different than your outside color. And that is 1 3/4 by 5.25. Okay, so in the other card that I did, I used Calypso Coral because I used different paper. I'm looking at papers that are in here, and this is Lemon Lime Twist because right there's some Lemon Lime Twist. All right, then you are going to have your first color, your outside color. You're going to have a piece that measures 2 5/8 by 3 3/8. So, yeah. 2 5/8 by 3 3/8. And then you're going to have something that you can stamp on or put a die cut on. That's a white. This is 2.5 by 3.25. Okay. Then I'm going to have a strip that I can, it should be in here, that I can stamp on. And this measures 3 inches by 1/2 inch. And then I wanted to put that same navy blue around that. So I have Night of Navy in 3 1/8 by 5/8 inches wide. Okay, and then I do have a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be for my inside. I have a piece of that star designer paper for my envelope, and I have a scrap. All right, let's hide this, and let me go to the comments. Yeah, I agree, Diane. I love bird's eye view. And when it first came out, I used it on like about 3 or 4 different cards, like right out of the gate. And then I feel like I put it away because other stamp sets came out and I was using all of those. And I kind of forgot about it. And so when I was looking, I'm like doing my stamp club, and I like to do like Mother's Day in May and graduation, because a lot of times people need those and they just want to grab them on the fly and have them done and not have to worry about making them. I got a bunch of blends here we're going to be using. And so I'm like, how about if I use that? It's so cute. All right. I was looking for a stamp set that carried over so that I could use that, because things are going so fast. I don't want to use something and then it's gone and somebody can't buy it. So, all right, we are going to start with this. Congratulations comes from, and I'm going to do this in Night of Navy. Let me grab that. I don't know which stamp set that comes from. I think it's the one that has like all the dies that can cut around it. I think that's what it's from. And I'm going to stamp this on my strip right here in Night of Navy. There we go. All right, and then let's mix it up. Let's do the inside in Night of Navy too. I did it in black in my other card, but let's do it in Night of Navy. All of the hard work was worth it. I have 2 nephews. They're both my godsons graduating. One is graduating from law school at Madison, and the other one is graduating from the Milwaukee School of Engineering. And so they're the same weekend, of course. So I won't be live that weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, so it's a couple weekends away yet. All right, then we're going to use this piece to stamp our little books first. So I'm using Memento because I'm going to color these in. And I'm going to stamp this pretty close to the bottom. All right, and then I think that's an owl. Kind of looks like an owl. Little bird. Gonna get his feet on the books. Aww. And of course he has to look really, really studious with his big glasses, right? So we're gonna put those glasses on him. So fun. And then I stamped the hat right on there. Let me tell you, it's really hard to line up. And the ladies in my stamp club were struggling to try. They didn't want the hat to be floating. So I had a brainstorm, like, why don't I just stamp it on the scrap, cut it out, and you can even pop it up on a dimensional if you want to. So I did that. I decided to do that for this one. And then there's a little diploma in there too. I'm just going to stamp that. Oh, darn it. I hate it when I do that. Straight Sarah. There we go. And we'll stamp this over again. Did you see my little halo over there? It's a sign that it's homemade, right? But I don't like them. If I have another side, I'm going to try to stamp it over and get rid of that. All right. I think we are done stamping, and it's time to color. All right. So let's start with this. I'm going to take the light Night of Navy, and I'm just going to color in that little ribbon. just to bring some blue into the inside. All right, for the bird, we're going to do the top of his head in light crumb cake. And then the rest of him, his body and his wings, I'm going to do in pecan pie. So I'm going to do the light pecan pie. And then I'm going to go back and I'm just going to go over all of those little lines that are there with my dark pecan pie. And then I'll blend it all again with my light. I'm going to get it all colored in first. And here's our dark. We're just going to follow where the artist had put little lines. And we'll go over those with the dark. And then we'll kind of blend it all back in again by just running over it with that light again, just to kind of blend them in. So they're not as dark, but they're still a little bit darker. Okay, then I'm going to use my, this is Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to use the dark, and I'm going to do kind of like where you would have kind of the spine or the, like the title of the book, the ends here. I'm going to do that in the dark. And then I'm going to come back with the light, and I'm going to do the rest of that with the light. And you know what? Since I took my Calypso coral away, I have to get a little color for his beak. All right, and then I'm going to do Night of Navy. Do the same thing. I like my bullet tip. Good morning, Karen Wetstein. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. Sorry, I'm so busy coloring that I'm not really watching the comments very well. So if I miss something and you asked a question and I didn't answer it, please ask it again. And then I'm going to come in with the light. And while I have the light out, I'm going to take that tassel and I'm just going to color that in with the blue as well. And then I've got some Lemon Lolly because that's the other, one of the other colors in the stars. So I decided Lemon Lolly it was going to be. So I'm going to start with the dark. And then come back in again with the light. So I just, again, tried picking the colors out. I could have done a berry burst there. I could have done anything I wanted to, any of the colors that were in there, a bubble bath. I just wanted to pull those in. All right, before we go any further, let me go ahead and cut. This is a ribbon scissors, so don't watch me cut this paper with it. I don't know where my other one is right now. I even cleaned. That was why I was up so late too. I'm like, where are people going to go to stamp? Because we're also eating. So I'm like, can't do it at my kitchen table. So I've got tables set up in different areas for each of the make and takes. And one of the areas was another room and this room. And both of them needed to be cleaned because they both had collected a few things in the last couple of months. So it took me almost until midnight to clean. And then I still had to make 2 cards and then cut for people and get everything put together. Okay, so there's that little hat. Isn't that cute? All right, that was a good idea by my team member. All right, I am going to go ahead and attach this to the Night of Navy. And this layout that I'm using, I got from, gosh, I think it's Heidi Collins. Onigo. Yeah, I think that's how she pronounces it. Onigo stamping. She does, every once in a while, she does a mystery stamping. So she tells you the supplies you need to get out. And then you just follow along with her. And she asks, who's stamping with me? And I think it was a couple of weeks ago that she did this layout. And I'm like, that's really cool. It's pretty easy to do. Put our little cap on him. Oh, he's graduating. Yay. All right. And I was just like, I like that layout. It's just super easy, but yet it looks nice too. All right. I'm going to layer the congratulations on here. And before I forget, I'm going to go get either a pumpkin pie or Calypso coral to get their feet. We'll do Calypso coral. There we go. All right. Here is our inside. Here's our bad one. And then what we're going to do on this is we are going to take this strip of lemon lime twist and we are going to put that right down the center. Probably should have my grid paper so that I can make sure it's right in the center. I'm going to attach this to the front. And then we're going to pop him up on some dimensionals. So he's going to pop, or his hat's going to pop, and this whole thing is going to pop. I was thinking ahead of time. I knew I was getting to the end of my dimensionals, and I'm like, I got to cut those before I get on TV, on YouTube, because otherwise I forget to cut them, and then you got to sit and wait for me to cut them all. Goodness. Still don't know how to use my take your pick tool for that. They all get stuck on me. So that's going to go there. I think I maybe would have liked a brighter color on there, but I'm going to stick with the yellow. I hadn't made this one before. It was just in my head. I mean, I made it, but with a different DSP and different colors. So I maybe should have done like a berry burst or something. And we're going to put our congratulations down here. Woot woot. Okay, and I did have some gems. Let me grab those. Put them away already. These are the tinsel gems, a 4-pack. And I'm just going to, sorry about that. I know when my hand goes across there, it gets blurry for a split second. Just going to put a little one up in that corner and then a bigger one. And there we go. We have our little graduation card ready to go. And it's not your traditional cap and gown. I mean, it has the cap and stuff like that, but how fun to have it be something completely different than traditional. Now I've seen some really cool cards made with that cap and gown that are very traditional. I made one for a card buffet that I have too. I mean, you can go either way with it, but you can also take that little hat. You can add it anywhere you want. All right, we'll add some stars out here. And cut around this. And we have a little matching envelope to go along with our card. So when I did it for my stamp club, what we did differently, or what was different about it, is that I used some of the Delightfully Eclectic paper, the one that has like all these little rainbow stripes. And instead of using all these fun stars, we had the stripes, and I picked out the Calypso Coral that was in there. Out of all the colors. I was going to do Fresh Frisian. I thought I just needed something a little brighter. So I picked that. So that top book was Calypso Coral. I did Lemon Lime Twist. And I thought if I put that Lemon Lolly right next to it, it was going to be too close. So I thought the Night of Navy had to go in between it. But you can kind of use any paper you want, really. But it's kind of a cool layout. So I did another card using the Country Floral, which is in the new catalog. I used the teapot with some flowers and some of the eyelet Misty Moonlight paper behind it. Oh, I loved how it turned out. So my team members are going to be making it, and I'll show it to you next week when I'm back on here, because some of them are on here right now, so they'll get a chance to see it later. So that is card number 1. And I'm going to get all these blends out of here. So that's returning and not new, but maybe it's new to you. Maybe you missed it in the catalog. The cap and gown was in the January to April, and the other one was in the annual catalog, and it's carrying over. All right. Our next card is going to be new product. So if you have seen the catalog, you probably oohed and awed, I'm guessing. I know I did when you saw this paper. Oh, look at this. Okay, it's one of those like the Garden Meadows. I'm just going to see some of these I have popped because I had them. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Right? And then this is on the other side of it. We've got these two. We've got that. We've got one that's a little bit more like where it's more watercolor. There's more water on it. And then you've got where you can kind of see some of the, that's the other side. And then this one. And then here you kind of see it looks like water with little branches and stuff. So this is the paper that we're going to be using. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Lots and lots of pretty colors in here. And if you are one of my team members and watching, you're going to be making one of these cards, but in a different color. I wanted to do a different color for my live than what I did for everybody else. So there we go. Oh, there we go. You could have seen this one. I'll go through all this paper. This is Lori Krause, who's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I believe that this set is her $1 million set. And I swap a lot with Lori. One of the swaps that I'm in, she does fabulous work. So it doesn't surprise me that she would pick a stamp set or a bundle that is this beautiful. Okay, so that's the paper. And then, oh, it has more paper. It has specialty paper to go with it as well. 5 sheets. There we go. Okay, so you've got, and it's ombre, so there's like different shades. So there's like a pink, but then it's almost like a coral on the bottom. And then there's like a Cajun craze. that almost has at the bottom here, it's almost like your peach pie. And then you've got your petunia pop, but there's also some blues in here and some purples. And you've got some different shades of green. And then you've got like your pretty peacock and Lost Lagoon and those colors. So we're going to be using some of that in our card today as well. And then you have the bundle. Oh gosh. So there are really cool scripts or fonts and sayings. Thinking of you fondly, you make my life better. Dearest friend, I appreciate you. And then you've got some floral images that you can either color with marker, like you could two-tone color these by using your Stampin' Write markers, or you can just stamp this and color it. You also has dies to cut those out. Look at, we're going to use this die right here. Oh, love that. It's so pretty. It was a little bit big for what I wanted to use it for, but I'm going to show you a little way. I don't, and I wish I could give this demonstrator credit, but I was watching somebody's video the other day. It was at night, so I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't know I was going to be using this, and I saw her do something, and I ended up doing that as well. So, but that's our stamp set. All right, let me go back. Yes, Debbie, the paper is stunning, and I'm loving it. Okay, let me go to my banners, and here is our first piece. So we're going to start with probably not a color that you would want to start with because not a lot of people like this color, but it was a color that was in the piece that I picked. So we're going to go with it. This is Wild Wheat. So the ladies that are coming to my thing today are going to have Pretty Peacock instead of Wild Wheat. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 1 inch. Okay, and because I scored it at 1 inch, instead of at 4 1/4, I had to go to 5 1/4. So it's 1 inch and 5 1/4. And then what it'll do is it will close like that and it'll still come together. And if it doesn't completely come together, because you know how somebody asked me the other day at Stamp Club, do you go just before the 4? Do you go right up and touch the 4? Or do you kind of go over it a little bit? See, everybody does it different. There isn't a right or a wrong way, really. And so because everybody does it a little bit differently, but you just kind of force it with your bone folder. I had used this fold with the meadow paper that was kind of like this as well. And so it finally came to me. It's like, oh, I've got a card that I did that I really liked. And so let's go back and look at that and see what we did. So that is that one. Then I have, this is Mossy Meadow to go with it. See, it makes the Wild Wheat not look as bad when you put the Mossy Meadow on. And wait until I put the other colors on. So this is 3 by 5 1/4. And then I use some of that specialty paper. That is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. See how that had the Mossy Meadow in, but it just adds a little bit of sparkle there. Wait till you see the other sparkle we're going to add. And then from the paper, it's 2 7/8 by 5 1/8. So you can get 2 of these out of a piece of paper. You have to decide if you want to cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, or if you want to cut all of it off the top. It's entirely up to you. You can do it however you want. I think I cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. I think that's what I did. So that's just going to layer right onto there. All right, I also have a piece for the inside that measures 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll put that inside of here when we're done. All right, I decided I wanted to use that really big die. Remember I said I loved that die? And so this is what it looks like. And what I did is in our new in colors, there is glimmer paper. Yes, that's glimmer paper. And it doesn't get all over you. It stays on the paper, which is fabulous. I remember when we first had glitter paper, or when I first remember having glitter paper, you would use it and you would have glitter on you for like the next month because everywhere you went, it was sticking somewhere. And it's like, oh, you have glitter on your face. Yeah, I know, I'm a stamper, right? But this stuff doesn't stick on you at all. It's pretty nice. So when I looked at this, it was on this piece, I have more of my scenery up on the left side than I do on the right side. So I decided I was going to put this way. But holy cow, that's way, way, way too big. So what this demonstrator did was she cut it apart and then she squished it together and then covered it by her label. So that's what we're going to do. So right here where these three little, here, let me put some white underneath this so you can see it. So where these three little petals kind of come together, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the far left one, and I'm just going to trim that like that to detach that. And then I'm just going to cut that. So I'm going to use this part right here. I'm going to try to get these things out of here. I didn't use my brush. Then on the other end, right here, that's loose. So I don't even have to, all I have to do is like cut this little thing right here. So I'm really just taking that much out of it. But it's a huge difference that little bit makes. All right. So how we're going to, let's go ahead and start assembling. So let's layer this. Onto our mossy meadow. And this is the Petunia Pop and glimmer paper. The reason I did that is those are some of the colors that were in the flowers that were in there. So I thought, wow, it would be really cool to pull those flowers out and just have that kind of, look at that. So I can make it a lot smaller. All right, then this is going to go on our right side. And this will go on the left side. So it's a little bit different fold. It doesn't just fold right down, right on the side. And then how I'm going to stick that down. Now you could, let me take this off here. There we go. You could, if you wanted to, run this through so it has the adhesive sheets on the back. So it would just sit right in your paper. I sort of wanted to have it so it didn't look like it was completely like setting down. I wanted it to be up like this where you can kind of see underneath it. I thought that looked kind of cool. And so instead of using the adhesive sheets, because I'm putting a label over the top of this and I cut it apart anyway, I'm just going to use some Scotch tape. Good old Scotch tape. All right, so I'm going to put this where I want it, and then I'm going to put this one down where I want that one. So see how I'm kind of still bringing them together a little bit. I'm going to grab some Scotch tape, and I'm just going to put the Scotch tape right there in the middle, and my label's going to cover that. Okay, so these are I didn't want it like right down on it. It just seemed like it should be over the top of it, but it didn't need to be like completely attached to the paper. All right, I found a label in the Cheerful Daisies that look like this, and it was the perfect size for that Thinking of You Fondly. And so I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow ink. And I have to stand up and look over my camera. Whoops, I just bumped my camera. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then along the bottom of our inside, I think I said that we were going to color with Stampin' Blend markers. We are not. I need a scrap here. This will do. Okay, we are going to stamp this in Mossy Meadow. All right, and then this is Fresh Freesia because that's one of the colors that was in there. Thanks, Karen. Let me close this before I dump something in there. We've all done it, right, ladies and gentlemen? If there are any. I'm just going to color these in with Fresh Freesia because that was another one of the colors that was in my piece that I grabbed. And I'm not even going to color the petals in with the Mossy Meadow. I thought that would look too heavy. So I just thought this really light, this is the light Fresh Freesia. And I'm just kind of, I mean, you don't have to do a whole lot, just add like a little bit of color. Can almost just adds like some dots in that area because the flowers are so tiny. All right, so that just brings some of that color from the front. Oops, I didn't put that down yet. Bring to the inside. And I'm just going to leave this blank so that if there is a particular occasion and I decide I want to stamp something, I can stamp it before I send it out, or whoever's going to get this next week, they can stamp something on it when they are ready to. Right, and then we need to pop this up on some dimensionals. 1, 2, 3. I should probably stand up and see if I've got it straight. There we go. I do. And then this comes with, these are called adhesive back pearl trios. They're little pearls. And this color up here I thought looked kind of cool. And I'm just going to throw one in there. I'm just going to fill up that little spot that was on my label. Just adds a little bit of bling without adding a whole lot to your card. So isn't that paper just gorgeous? Oh, you can, I've seen people just stamp right on the paper as well, like up in the sky or down below if there was water, any place where they found that they could stamp over the top of it because it wasn't too busy. So that is my first attempt with this stamp set. It came at about 3:30 a.m. this morning. It finally came to me. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's go ahead and just stamp one of those little flower clumps down in the corner. Because there's not a whole lot of this paper. I don't want to put that on the back. So we'll do that. And then I got to grab a little piece of cardstock, hang tight. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, I got my scrap bin. I'm going to stick this in here because otherwise when I color it, it's going to bleed through to the back. I don't want it to do that. So I'm just going to stick a piece of cardstock in there so that I can color those flowers and not have it bleed through. And there is our card number 2. Thinking of you fondly. And then you could probably throw this on something else yet too. Yes, Debbie, the DSP does all the work. So you don't have to. I think that's why I was overthinking it. It's like, oh, I want to do a fun fold because my first card wasn't a fun fold. It was a layout. And I really want people to like this paper because the paper is so cool. And I think I was just overthinking it way too much because really the paper does do all the work. You don't have to do a whole lot with it. So, oh, thanks, Linda. I'm glad you could join us. Welcome. We're a fun crew, right, ladies? Thank you so much for those of you that have said you like the card. Yeah, I just think with these papers that they do, we did the one horse open sleigh was like that, and the what was it? Meadows, not garden meadows. I would have to go look at it, but those papers are all very similar and they're just so pretty. All right, so there's our second one. Our first one again was our little unique, not traditional graduation card where we said that we were proud of them, the hard work that they did. So those are our two cards for this week. Let me go ahead and I have to do this and then that and then that. Oh, I should probably turn these lights off. That looks awful on me when we're done stamping. This is going to get kind of dark though. The sun's not out or anything. There we go. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be, let me think, what's next week? I will be back at 8:30 again next week. I'll have 2 more cards for you. We are then a week out. Like it's going to be that next week that the catalog goes live and you can all order if you're not demonstrators. And we can order everything because as demonstrators, we can only order so many things or certain things, and then we can only order so much of it. So that's why when you do, I have to do a bunch of swaps again, and I have to order. I wasn't at the on stage where everybody got a pack of the paper that I have to do the lily pond. If you've seen the catalog, I have to do 4 cards with that. But I think the card that I made for my team with the country floral, flowers, I think that might be one of my swap cards for another swap that I'm in. So then I have that done. Woo-hoo. So anyway, any ramp or overpass closures? Mary, not during the day, I don't think. I will look up online when I get off of here and I will let you know if I find anything out. There's construction by us and we never know when the ramps are going to be closed and when they're going to be open. It usually takes me 2 minutes to get to my brother's house because I just go right down the road, but the street is closed. So I've got to go around and it takes me about 10 minutes to get there. And then this summer, they're going to be closing that way to go. So I either have to go further around or go more into the country around. So yeah, it's going to be a fun couple of years. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back again next week. I will post that color coach. It probably won't be until later this afternoon, or it might even be tomorrow, but I promise I will get that done. Yeah, Debbie, I feel bad because when you were the only person on my team, we didn't have team meetings because it was just the 2 of us. And now my team has grown so much. I love that. But I miss the fact that you're not on it anymore. But I totally understand. Your life is so busy. So anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you again next week. Have a great weekend and find some time to be creative. Bye-bye.